And this is where we have to pause and look closely at how these, soft.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We pull the most valuable nuggets of insight from cutting-edge research, expert notes, and fascinating books, delivering them straight to you. Today, we are strapping into the driver's seat and taking a deep dive into the high-octane world of Formula One leadership.
Yeah, and we're using the playbook of Zak Brown, the CEO of McLaren Racing.
Our mission today is, well, it's pretty straightforward. We want to extract the universal lessons on how to lead, build resilience, and, establish a winning culture.
And these are lessons forged in maybe the most competitive business environment on the planet.
I mean, this isn't just about fast cars. It's really about providing you with a shortcut to understanding management when the stakes are measured in millions of dollars in performance gaps.
They're measured in milliseconds, yeah. That high-stakes context is everything.
It has to be.
Zak Brown's time at McLaren, which he talks about a lot, is one of the most compelling modern case studies in an organizational turnaround.
And what makes his perspective so valuable is that he didn't come in as some typical corporate CEO, right?
Yeah. No, not at all. He was a racer himself, then an entrepreneur, and then he stepped in to lead this iconic brand that had, frankly, lost its way.
They really had.
I mean, when he took the reins, McLaren was navigating, I can only describe it as organizational chaos. Poor results, high internal friction, a global reputation that was just suffering.
Right.
So the knowledge he shares is grounded in the harsh reality of rebreeding that whole operation from the ground up. It's not just about fixing a few technical issues.
No.
So whether you're managing a crisis, trying to innovate faster, or, just building a team that trusts itself, this deep dive offers some really tangible, hard-won principles.
Okay, so let's unpack that primary challenge that really defines Brown's leadership environment.
Right.
He talks about managing two radically opposing worlds at the same time. He calls it the tension between the paddock and the boardroom.
A great way to put it.
The paddock is immediate, chaotic, public. It's all governed by performance metrics that are delivered every single Sunday. It demands these short-term, instant decisions.
While the boardroom, that's the complete opposite.
Exactly. It demands long-term stability, careful financial planning, shareholder communication, and, a multi-year strategic vision.
The conflict there is just massive.
It's huge. How do you maintain that aggressive, disruptive pace you need for the track while still satisfying the measured, stable demands of corporate governance?
And what's fascinating is how that tension is amplified now, especially with the sport's cost cap regulations.
Oh, that's a great point.
Before the cost cap, McLaren could just, they could throw more money at a problem.
Sure.
Now, every single decision is a high-stakes bet on innovation timing.
What do you mean by that?
Well, take, for instance, investing in a crucial multi-million-dollar asset like a new wind tunnel. Brown championed that.
Right.
That is the ultimate act of long-term boardroom strategy. It costs a fortune, takes years to build and calibrate, and it won't yield benefits for maybe half a decade.
But the paddock crew, they need improvements for this weekend.
Exactly. So Brown's job is to secure that massive long-term investment while making sure the short-term incremental innovation keeps delivering just enough performance to keep the team relevant and, keep morale high.
That's it.
That gap between the long-term decision and the constant short-term pressure, that is the absolute defining characteristic of his leadership.
And the high consequence nature of those decisions is just staggering.
Staggering is the word.
If you get that 5-year technical plan wrong,
Yeah.
you aren't just losing market share, you are literally signing up for 5 years of public humiliation on a global stage.
Which is why he emphasizes risk mitigation through preparation, not avoidance. They're constantly navigating these massive technology shifts, new power unit regulations, evolving aero rules.
And they have to make multi-year commitments to suppliers and technical directions based on, educated guesses about the future.
Exactly. A bad engine deal or just misinterpreting one regulation can destroy a team's competitiveness for years. And that's the real so what for you, right? In a rapidly changing business landscape, you have to make these massive long-term resource commitments based on imperfect future data. Brown's framework kind of helps leaders manage that fear of consequence.
That brings us perfectly to what Brown argues is the real differentiator in Formula One. And it's not just engineering genius.
No, this is where it gets really interesting.
He pivots from the technical and basically asserts that winning is fundamentally about people, specifically the culture you foster.
Which sounds simple, but it's not.
Not at all. McLaren had access to immense resources, incredible engineering minds, yet they were underperforming dramatically for years.
For years.
Brown realized the problem wasn't the size of the wind tunnel, it was the people dynamics within the organization.
Right.
So his central achievement was tearing down the siloed, overly political internal structure and building a new culture. It was defined by a specific triad: team harmony, fairness, and loyalty.
And he sees those elements as the true engine of competitive advantage. And this is where we have to pause and look closely at how these, soft values translate into hard performance in such a technical environment.
Good point.
Historically, McLaren had a very top-down star system culture. This often meant that, internal criticism was suppressed and fear of failure was just rampant.
So people were afraid to speak up.
Totally. Brown realized that if key engineers or strategists are afraid to raise potential issues or suggest radical, untested designs, then innovation just slows to a crawl.
So harmony, for him, isn't just about being nice.
Not at all. It's about psychological safety, the willingness to debate fiercely without fear of political retaliation.
And fairness.
Fairness is crucial because if your key talent sees internal politics winning out over merit, they leave. And they take highly proprietary F1 knowledge straight to a competitor. That's a competitive disaster.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the complexity of an F1 car. Hundreds of thousands of components have to work together flawlessly. You need mechanics, strategists, designers, logistics staff, all highly skilled people collaborating under insane pressure.
And if that communication breaks down,
it's not just a slow meeting. You have a wheel nut failure or a strategy blunder that costs you points. It's immediate.
right.
Brown's insight is that you can have the most advanced technology, but if your culture is toxic, your internal collaboration velocity is slow. The speed of the car becomes directly tied to the speed of communication and trust within the team.
So he had to demonstrate that loyalty and fairness himself, explicitly. Sometimes by making extremely difficult personnel changes that signaled the new cultural priority over, say, past glory or political standing.
That must have been a massive culture shock.
A huge one, but a necessary one to facilitate real innovation.
So what's the direct connection to innovation there?
Well, what's fascinating here is that for true cutting-edge F1 engineering, you have to be willing to fail and learn rapidly. But if the culture promotes blame, people will just cover up small mistakes. They'll hide them. And that prevents the organization from learning until that small mistake becomes a catastrophic public failure on track.
I see.
So by focusing on harmony and fairness, Brown essentially made it safe to fail internally and then learn from the data. He changed the narrative around failure. He encouraged transparency.
So he saw that engineering innovation is a cultural problem first.
And a technical problem second.
Yes.
If your culture doesn't foster open feedback loops, your technical development cycle will just constantly lag behind the competition. Simple as that.
That concept of radical cultural change, it naturally brings us to the core theme of resilience, which is baked into every layer of Brown's story.
It really is.
He didn't just inherit a team, he inherited a crisis. He had to lead the organization through several seasons of just deeply frustrating public struggle.
And F1 is very, very public.
Yeah. His memoir highlights the necessity of personal and organizational resilience rooted in accepting failure as a learning tool. In F1, failure is broadcast to 80 million viewers instantly. You retire from the race, you finish last, and the pressure from the media, fans, sponsors. It's immense. How do you take that highly visible, very expensive failure and turn it into actionable, morale-boosting organizational energy?
He draws directly from his background as a driver and a serial entrepreneur.
Makes sense.
I mean, when you're a racer, continuous improvement isn't some nice-to-have corporate slogan. It's a prerequisite for survival. After every session, you analyze every single data point just to find a tenth of a second.
And he applied that same methodology to the management process.
Exactly. Persistence of the racer. When McLaren had a public failure, say a double DNF, did not finish, he insisted on a structured, data-driven review.
Okay.
He'd ask what broke, why it broke, and how the organizational process allowed it to happen. He enforced the idea that failure must be localized, studied intensely, and then depersonalized.
And that required him to show extraordinary grit himself.
Oh, absolutely. He had to absorb all that public criticism while maintaining this unwavering confidence in the long-term vision and the people who were implementing it.
That organizational discipline to turn crisis into data, that's the key lesson, isn't it?
It is.
It's not just about bouncing back emotionally. It's about having a repeatable process for improvement.
He had to orchestrate a cultural and a technical shift at the same time, and that takes years. It shows that persistence isn't just stubbornness. It's the disciplined, constant application of small, incremental improvements built on the foundation of that newly trusting, accountable culture.
So let's bring this all together. Let's consolidate the major insights from Zak Brown's leadership playbook.
Okay.
We started with that unique high-pressure conflict, managing the instant chaos of the paddock alongside the long-term discipline of the boardroom.
Right.
Then we moved into the critical insight that culture, specifically harmony, fairness, and loyalty, is the true foundation of innovation in a technical sport.
The real engine.
And finally, we just discussed the mandatory, process-driven resilience required to navigate failure and orchestrate a complex, multi-year turnaround.
Exactly. And for you, the listener, whether you run a small team or a multinational corporation, this material acts as an incredibly potent guide.
A real-world case study.
It really is. It proves that strong leadership is about challenging inherited assumptions and making those tough calls that favor future potential over short-term political comfort. The broader principle here, I think, derived directly from the sources, is the absolute necessity of having the courage to take big bets.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Think about the strategic decision Brown made to switch engine suppliers back to Mercedes. It was a huge, expensive risk. It had the potential to set the team back if the integration failed.
A huge risk.
He had to risk a public failure for a massive potential gain. That courage, coupled with the cultural foundation to support the execution, that's the ultimate takeaway.
That courage is what separates good leaders from transformative ones.
I think so.
He had to be brave enough to dismantle a decades-old failing culture and just trust in his people and his process, often when the results weren't even there yet.
A lot of faith involved.
A powerful place to end our deep dive today into Zak Brown's high-octane leadership playbook. Thank you for joining us as we went under the hood of Formula One management and culture.
And as you reflect on the unique pressures and risks inherent in F1, maybe consider this final question. It builds on that necessity of courage.
Okay.
If Brown had to risk public, expensive failure to turn McLaren around, what significant necessary risk or strategic change are you currently avoiding in your own professional life that might be the key to your personal or professional turnaround?
What big bet are you ready to take? We'll leave you with that thought. We look forward to diving deep with you next time.
Grab 0.7 of a second by Zak Brown now on sale. $17.95. Don't miss this chance and build good habit and achieve remarkable results. Buy now, today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.